Short for fanatic is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-0 degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fanatics? It's Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. I'm, of course, joined by the bearded one, Mr. George Carmona in the back. George, how you doing
What
today?
is up, people? That's my name. This is my name.
There's
Boom.
George.
And I'm the football guy. That's why I put up football news. Boom. What's up, Josh?
Man, what's going on, man? How's your weekend?
Weekend was amazing. Didn't do much. Saw Derek Carr get pile drived into the ground. Kind of made my Sunday a little bit. I was like, yeah. I mean, I never root for anybody to get injured, but kind of made me smile.
We never root for anybody to get injured.
That would be horrible.
Man, yeah, we will definitely get to some NFL news and talking about your team for sure. But just excited to be here, man. It was a good weekend, good sports weekend, a lot of good stuff. As you can tell, my voice is starting to get a little bit better again.
You're healthy.
It wasn't just my normal flu, George. It was actually an upper respiratory infection.
Whoa.
So I had to get on antibiotics and the whole deal. Yeah.
You're on the good drugs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fill us in. You're on a little promethazine?
No. Nothing like that. I had a pill.
Oh,
and
okay.
I took it once a day, and we're doing better. So
let me know if you ever want to double cup up sometime, I'll bring the Jolly Ranchers.
Bro, you can't like, we can't be just talking about illegal narcotics.
I'd like Sprite and Jolly Ranchers, my friend.
Oh, okay.
That's
just the Jolly Ranchers.
Just the Jolly Ranchers.
It's the Jollies for you. Let's start with some college football news, George. Alabama ends the 29-win streak and 2-game losing streak to actually, I think that's 3. It was 3-game losing streak to
Georgia.
to Georgia. So, man, what do you think? What did you think? Did you watch any of the game?
Yeah. I mean, it was. I feel like I was watching the national championship game. That's what should be the national championship, and the college football committee has messed up once again. They messed up because there's just not enough slots. But how do you have a team that's only lost one time in the last 2 years not be in the college football playoff for a chance to have a three-peat?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro. What?
Yeah. Well, and we're gonna get to who's in the playoff this year, but yeah, for Georgia to lose that game and to lose it in a tight one. It wasn't like they were blown out. To go from 1 to, I think they went down to the 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Like, to go, listen, you're riding a 29-game win streak, you lose 1 game and you drop 6 slots.
That's nuts.
That's like, come on. Like, what I will say though is you could see the difference between, like, that was the most Georgia football I'd probably watched all season because they were just housing people. That quarterback, it was not Stetson. Those last 2 years, because remember, Stetson was like 28.
Yeah, dude. He was a
he was
premier pocket passer, okay?
He was a premier father of 3.
Yeah. He had
been in college football longer than George has been at Sticky Pod Studios.
He might be older than Matt Stafford right now. And he's the back of the
and Matt Stafford's at the back end of his career.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that was the first thing that I noticed was that just the level of, I'll just say composure, the drop off, because Stetson was just there. Like he was, even when they got down, you kind of still felt like he was going to do something to rise to that moment. That's why it's always weird to me when, these winning quarterbacks, the guys that win in college, they can't even buy a minute in the NFL. And it's like he had something that a lot of these other quarterbacks that you say have talent don't. And I think that's what we end up seeing in the NFL so much is like, yeah, now everyone's talented. What about that winning thing that we talked about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because my thing is, well, even if he has great players, he was in the SEC, he was playing against great players. So if I'm dicing up or beating great players, I'm probably solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they always get downgraded. It's weird to me.
Georgia, I'm in the same boat as you. I didn't necessarily watch them a lot this year because a lot of their games were 100-7.
Yeah.
And I just would rather watch a close game. And their offense is very explosive. Like, their receiving core shocked me. I mean, that's Bill Belichick's, like, dream receiving core right there. Brock Bowers and that other little white guy. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they diced up that Alabama defense on the comeback. But it's just not necessarily like a team that I was like shocked by. Like, or I didn't see talent on the field that made me go, oh man, like this Georgia team, like I see first round draft picks there. I didn't necessarily see that. And maybe that leads to why, they aren't in the playoff.
Yeah. I mean, well, think about it though. Their cupboards have been just completely stripped over the last 2 or 3 years. So, you know what I mean? Because they think about how much first-round talent they did lose. And then, last year, Keely Ringo, I think, went in the second or third round. Mm-hmm. And he was still like a sophomore or junior, like a third-year sophomore or a junior. And, they lost a lot of pieces on both sides of the ball the last 2 years. So I'm not surprised. They were still undefeated in that SEC with babies. So they'll be fine.
Yeah, they will. They will, but that sucks because you knew it. I think Kirby Smart's explanation at the end of the game, it's like a coach's like worst nightmare. It's like you just lost the goal that you'd been trying to achieve all year, and now you have to like tell people why you're good. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, after a loss, usually a coach has to be like very honest and like, oh, this is what went wrong. But like in his post-game presser, he was like, nope, we're still an amazing team. Like there's nothing wrong with the way that we played today. Because it was a close game, dude. 27-24.
Just got beat.
I mean,
got beat.
You just didn't have the ball at the end.
Yeah. Got beat. Couldn't make that one key stop.
Yeah.
They kept getting to like 3rd and 6. Or I want to say it was like 2nd and 15 one time, and they went and picked it up, got like a 20-yard play. Like there were a couple moments where I was like, okay, this is their moment to shift the game before you start to chase it.
Yep.
And they couldn't get it done. But let's talk about the college football playoffs. The football playoffs are now set in college. Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama, George.
Alabama
slides past an undefeated 13-0 Florida State Seminoles. As a Miami Hurricane fan, I can say, ha, ha, ha. But as a college football fan, I mean, that's I'd be pissed. I'd be hot.
Yeah. I mean, I get why, right? Jordan Travis getting hurt. And everybody thought Louisville was going to beat them in the championship game, and they took care of business. And I think they knew that they had to do that.
Yeah. For sure, they couldn't mess around.
They couldn't come in close. But I mean, did it even matter? Like this in my head, the committee already had pre-selected Florida State as win or loss. They're not going to be in there.
I think to your point, Jordan Travis breaking his leg. I think when it comes down to it, the eyeballs, because listen, I don't know where Florida State must have been 4, I think. And for them to be the 4 seed, undefeated still, but no quarterback, and then have to go play Michigan, you're basically handing Michigan a walkover, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
And Jim Harbaugh back. You know what I'm saying? Like that's essentially a walkover. So, man.
I don't know though, bro, but TCU fucking whooped Michigan's ass last year, and nobody expected it. You know what I mean? And they did have a more put-together squad. But we thought the same thing last year. Oh, wow, Michigan, they're going to be in the national championship game. And then they get...
Guess they're not.
Yeah.
Guess not. I think that's the only reason why Alabama gets in is because of the injured quarterback factor. I think if they had their quarterback... they would have all to play for, and everyone would still be. They'd be a cute pick, but we'll see. But man, George, next year should have been this year, but next year we actually will have a 12-game but it's not a 12 game, a 12 team playoffs.
Yes.
Are you excited because now so many more teams are up for discussion? I still don't know how they're going to set up the board because 12 goes to 6 and 6 goes to 3. So somebody's got to get a bye.
Yeah.
So probably the first seed.
Yeah. The top 4 get a bye.
Oh, the top 4.
Yeah, top 4 get a bye.
Okay. Okay.
In that situation. I love it. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of meaningless games. I think that health is a premium, and I think what you might see is teams start resting players. Similar to
in lower fielding games, in lower ranked games. That's a good call.
Yeah, because you can't afford an injury, and you got to be max healthy if you're going to play. What is it? A run of 4 games to win the title for some of these teams.
Yeah, max. Yeah, max. 4.
I mean, so you're going to need. It'll be a battle of health. It'll be very similar to the NFL. I love it though because more football is always the right answer. Bowl games are going to lose their luster. They're gonna bowl games won't necessarily shock or get the attention of people. They never do, really. I mean, it'll be the middle of December on a Wednesday, and you'll see the Idaho Bowl, and you're like,
"Oh, such and such."
Oh, that's on right now. Yeah. But you don't watch it. But if it's a playoff game, you're gonna watch it. So
I think okay, bowl games might lose their luster, but these games now, the BCS continues to rotate, between the Sugar Bowl and the Tostitos Bowl and all those different bowls that were a part of the BCS Championship Series. Because I think we might be getting one. I think. Yeah,
I mean the Vegas Bowl should be one. I mean, what else do we have to prove, people? We're the best city in the world to host sports.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Well, we're getting there.
Yeah,
I can't really take it away.
I see what you're saying, though. Some of the bowl games will just become playoff games, like how they already have it. So, that'll help.
And if it rotates, like if it's if 1 year the Rose Bowl is a play-in game, but it's still the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And now these kids actually get the chance to I won the Rose Bowl, I won the Tostitos Bowl, and I won the Fiesta Bowl all in the same run. You know what I'm saying? That I think is actually really cool.
That is so much swag. If you're a college football player, bro, you're getting big gift basket.
You're swagged out.
Big gift basket. Bro, PS5, Yeezys. So much shit.
That's too good. But it's also that time of year, George. It's that time of year. What time of year, George, is it?
It's the portal season. The portal season.
George, I took it off the notes, and you still got it right.
Yes.
It is. Yes. It is officially portal season. What do you love and what do you hate, George, about portal season?
All right. He's going to come on to explain himself soon enough, but things have changed since the last time we talked about my brother.
Yeah.
And he's made the decision to not play in the bowl game and to enter the transfer portal. This all happened this morning, by the way.
I looked last night.
Yeah.
When I was doing the show flow, I was like, Fernando Carmona Jr. And I was like, portal ? And it was missing portal. I was like, dang, can't find anything. I did find some notes about him being a tight end though, so that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So this, like I said, it all happened this morning. I love it, man. I love it because it's an opportunity for a lot of these kids to, get some treatment and love that they may not have gotten sold originally, right? A lot of these recruiters, their entire job is to pitch you the dream and reality like this is a fantasy land and we have everything, when in reality a lot of schools can't afford everything. Yeah. And beyond amenities, it can even go as far as the coaching staff liking you. You know what I mean? If you know that they're recruiting new players in your position and you're kind of getting pushed back on the depth chart, and you and your coach don't have a good rapport, it's a good way to get a fresh start with people that actually value your talents. I don't give a fuck that it's ruined. Some people say it's ruined college football. No, it hasn't. Okay? If you're a really good player and you didn't get recruited, now it might be a little tougher. You got to go to a smaller level school and you got to transfer your way up, but that's just the way it works now.
Yeah.
UNLV is going to have possibly 10 wins this year. They have 50 new players on their team.
Yeah.
TCU last year, completely new team. They almost win the national championship. So it's the way of the future. I like it. Your thoughts?
I like it. but as a coach, I understand both sides. I like the fact that like I never thought of it the way that you just mentioned. You know, I was a 2-star recruit. I then looked really well in the field, and now I want to go someplace bigger for my talents to not only compete, but then also get me more eyeballs, get me to my end goal potentially.
Correct.
That I like. I also like the fact of, hey, I'm going to go over here because they're willing to give me more NIL money, which, again, go get your money. The only part I do not like is, you know, kids can kind of, I won't say it's like free agency, and so kids aren't necessarily ever really truly bought in. And so I think kids can only do this twice.
Agreed.
You shouldn't be able to just run like, oh, I don't like it, it's a tough situation, and I'm going to bail, because you're never really giving your all to a situation. You're always having that threat of, oh, I'm going to leave. You know what I'm saying? And so
I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
Nobody in particular.
I'll say it. DJ Ungalele left from Clemson, goes to Oregon State. Now he's in the transfer portal for the 3rd time
in 3 years.
It's like that to me. I'm like, first off, bro, you're being used everywhere. All right. And you actually almost led Oregon State to a Pac-12 championship.
Yeah. That
team was really good. But now you're not even going to play in the bowl game. After you were the team, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that part's a little backwards to me.
Yeah, but that's a perfect example. That, like, what are you buying into any situation? You had a great situation in Clemson. You're running up behind Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? So they need you. They want you to be great. They're not running people at you like, oh, yeah, this guy. Because I remember he was like, they were like really excited about him. He leaves, goes to Oregon State, does well.
Amazing.
And now I'm going to leave again. You don't, as a coach, as a fan, it's almost like
that
the NBA.
That hurts draft stock. There's no way that does not hurt draft stock. You better really know how to explain yourself. Like, you better know exactly how to reframe anything that these coaches ask you. So why did you leave 3 times? Oh, well, you know, I wanted more money. Oh, it's not the answer, son, that I'm looking for.
Basically. Basically. Before we get out of around the world in sports, Babe Ruth's rookie card sells for a record $7.2 million. And it was the 3rd highest sale of a rookie card, George, in history. If you ever want to know what greatness looks like, look no further than that's greatness.
Yeah.
I've been dead and gone. I was so good that people still talk about me, that to the point where a piece of me just changed somebody's whole life.
Yep.
That's tremendous.
$7.2 million. What do you do as soon as that wire hits your bank account, Josh?
You go buy some more cards.
You look for Shohei Ohtani everything, okay?
And you just sit on it, and you're like, grandson, this is the one. That's what you do. You literally go buy more, go buy more. Like every GOAT that you can think of, you go buy it.
Yep.
Because there's not going to be anybody else like Babe Ruth right now.
Yeah.
But you go find a Tiger Woods rookie card, and when Tiger passes on or Tiger gets up in age, that's going to go.
Yep.
All the Jordan rookie cards you can find, because they're low right now, you go buy them. Give me a Gem Mint 10.
Yep.
And just sit and wait.
Give me a couple of them, actually.
Yeah.
I have $7.2 million to blow.
Yeah, maybe maybe spend a couple, $100,000 or something going and getting cards. Yeah, you probably be all right. It's not a bad decision. You just showed yourself that it wasn't a bad decision.
True.
Switching gears over to the NBA. Hold on one second. All right. Our NBA segment today is brought to you by our friends at Coco Love, the beverage of choice of the American Fan 365. Head over to www.cocolovewater for your own case of coconut refreshment and use the promo code TAF365 for your discount on Hawaiian Beach vibes.
Delicious.
George, man, we got to talk about the play-in tournament. Marcus is on his way, so hopefully we'll still be able to get his pick. But the 8 teams that are still left before the Final Four showdown here in Las Vegas this week are the Boston Celtics, the Indiana Pacers, the New York Knicks, and the Milwaukee Bucks in the East, the New Orleans Pelicans, Sacramento Kings, Phoenix Suns, and Los Angeles Lakers out west. Who do you think is going to be able to pull this thing down, George?
What I'm seeing here is there is a possibility that the old man LeBron James is like, I need to add this one to the, the NBA was like, we need to have this because LeBron James has done everything in the league, so we need to have a championship that he hasn't won.
That Jordan can't win?
That Jordan can't win to solidify it. I think you're going to see some Laker fuckery here. Like, there's going to be some, calls that may go his way, you know what I mean? Like, late on down the stretch. Give me the Lakers because they'll need to win this one. They're not winning the NBA title, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's... Hey, and look, listen, this does play to their strength. This goes back to the bubble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's
Fake
like,
titles.
everyone's in one spot. Oh, we don't have the travel. We don't have all this extra stuff. We can just lock in on ball. When they lock in on ball, they're very dangerous. I will say they've had some bad and tough losses, but I've got to run with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they're in a similar situation too, and this I think will give you some playoff Dame vibes, and Dame might have like a 55-pointer in there. And if he does that, I am going to clip the heck out of that. But I think that I think that the Bucks, especially when you look at the teams that they're potentially up against, I don't think the Pacers have a chance unless they take it so serious just because it's a bunch of young guys. But I don't see them really competing in it. The Pelicans, no. The Kings, quietly, you never know.
They're who I thought they were, but when I watched them a couple of weeks ago, they lacked a little bit of veteran leadership. It seemed like it was fully the Fox show now.
Yeah.
And it's like, he still needs somebody. You know what I mean?
Harrison Barnes is gone, right? I think Harrison.
And he was the one.
He was that veteran.
Yeah.
1,000%. The Suns, no. Because I don't think Bradley Beal's coming back, and I feel like Booker's still dinged up, and KD's been dinged up. So I mean, I think really the ones that truly have a chance are your Celtics, the Lakers, the Knicks. Quietly, I say quietly just because the Knicks have been playing well, and the Knicks can compete with anybody else in this list. That's the part that I think that you can't discredit them. I don't feel like the Pacers great is better than the Bucks great.
Got it.
In a one gamer.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
I see it.
The Knicks great is on par with the Lakers. They've beaten the Lakers. It's on par with the Bucks. They've beaten the Bucks. And it's on par with the Celtics. So it's like they could easily be in that Final Four. They could easily, have a chance at it.
By the way, I'll correct us. Harrison Barnes is still a part of the Kings.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
But I don't know, man. They gotta look better when I'm watching them on TV, or else I think they suck. And they're 4-0 in the play-in tournament, so I sound like an idiot. But hey, here's the one thing that makes me not sound like an idiot. The Lakers have the biggest point differential, 18.5. Hey-oo.
Wow. What? Oh, in the play-in.
In the play-in, yeah.
Oh, I was like, how in the heck is that possible?
What?
I was like, that's a lot of points. But yeah. So I've got the Bucks. You've got the
Lakers.
The Lakers
just solely on NBA fuckery. This is a Tom Brady type situation where it's like, don't pick against him until he's dead or out of the league.
Okay.
I can die on that hill. You know what I mean?
You're gonna see Scott Foster in these 3 games.
Yeah.
For the Lakers is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Or it's going to be a classic. LeBron has the ball at the end and kicks it out to a wide open 3 that is missed, and I'll be like, I was almost right. You know.
If only he would have done his job and finished it.
It's not LeBron's fault.
No. I mean, he made the right basketball play.
He's done taking last shots.
You're at the cup. That isn't the right basketball play. Are you that nervous to hit the free throws? might be the right basketball play. Switching gears over to the NFL, we will when Marcus walks in, if he shows up today, because it's always touch and go.
Yeah, I mean we're ready for him. Look at that shit. We're ready. We're ready.
Marcus is right here. We'll make sure to get his pick for the play-in. But switching gears over to the NFL, George, the Eagles get their wings clipped 42-19 in a potential NFC Championship rematch. George, Christian McCaffrey.
Is the real deal. Is like literally going to challenge every quarterback for the award that they win every year. Yeah. I think this is the year. It's really Tyreek Hill's making a hell of a case too, dude. And it's a little tougher when you're a receiver because your quarterback also gets some love. So like Tua could also win the MVP award. But anyways, back to the 49ers domination. Christian McCaffrey looked unstoppable. If it wasn't for Deebo Samuels going off though, Christian McCaffrey might have had 3 touchdowns himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Deebo kind of just took it over.
Ooh, that second Deebo touchdown where he caught it in the middle and broke the tackle. Man, listen. Like,
hey, stand on business.
I'll say this, and this is the reason, and this is, of course, me shifting the focus over to my team. When I watch San Francisco and I watch how dominant that offensive line is and how Brock Purdy literally never is uncomfortable.
Never.
And he has nobody in his face. This is why, a Jennings can look like, oh, my God, somebody covered Jennings. Well, there's a Jennings on every team, but every team doesn't have that kind of line, including mine. So, it's so funny because we're entering that crazy part of the season where it's like, oh, well, who are we going to draft? And, oh, we need to get Marvin Harrison Jr., who I did not realize was 6'3", by the way.
Yeah.
He's a house. No, his dad wasn't a tall dude.
Yeah, his dad was like
5'11", 6 feet. Like he was a
Mr.
receiver
Reliable.
height. You know what I mean? He wasn't Megatron height.
True.
I did not realize that. But it's Marvin Harrison Jr. overtaking an offensive lineman when our offensive line is god awful. Like the Niners dominated that game, especially once it started to get close again and the Eagles made that touchdown. It was like, oh, the momentum's with the Eagles. Their security guard got kicked out. And then the Niners showed up.
The Niners showed up from the get-go.
They did.
It did not look like – the only thing that shocked me, and I guess it shouldn't have shocked me as much as it did, the Eagles' secondary sucks. Like, their defensive line did a great job of containing Christian McCaffrey early, and I was like, fuck. Like, this is not going to work out. The run game for the 49ers, let's just bail on it. And then they started slinging it, and everything was open.
Yeah.
And that Eagles secondary has got a serious issue at their hands because even, like you said, Brock Purdy wasn't necessarily pressured too much. At all,
bro.
And I think the moment, it wasn't too big for Philly, but Philly's been playing very tough games for the last month. So to me, it's like, okay.
They were bound to lose
They were bound to lose one of them, and this one... It did kind of get out of hand, though. Like, they just could not stop them at all.
They were taken behind the shed, if you will.
Yeah. 49ers were like, who's your daddy? And the Eagles were like, oh, my God, it's you. Dre Greenlaw touching Big Dom's lip and then them both getting kicked out.
Beautiful.
It's got to stop. Like, that's not even that bad of a thing. You know what I mean? There's people that throw punches after plays, and they get to still play. But
that's right.
Dre Greenlaw does a little... You remember Kevin Hart said, like, I saw a bum?
A bum bump.
I mean, he gave me a bum bump. That's literally what Dre Greenlaw did. He said, give you a little bum bump. And Dom was like, my God.
Oh, God. That's too funny. That is too funny. But, yeah, so to your point, man, the secondary definitely struggled. It's going to be an interesting look the rest of this season, what they're going to do. I was talking to some Eagles fans, and they were like, I'd rather this game we get blown out and they look at it like we have things that we really have to fix.
Yep.
Versus losing by 5 or 7. And it's like, oh, well, we were in the game. Like, no, we've had a lot of things. And I mean, I think that's also something that we've all said. I was saying to him that this game will do one of two things. Either it'll galvanize and you guys will be even more dangerous, or it could be the beginning of an implosion, because they had been on the ropes. They were on the ropes versus my team twice.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So they've had games where it's like they didn't look good, because he was trying to come at me for Sam Howell, and I was like, Sam Howell was dicing y'all up. He was like, everybody be dicing us up. I was like, all right, I can't speak on that. Speak on that.
That's rough, man. That's the Eagles. There's nothing to worry about. Okay, your quarterback is insane. A.J. Brown is a monster. And that offensive line did a great job last night again. Just like how Brock Purdy had time, Jalen Hurts would just be chilling, bro. Like after he beat one defender coming in and he stepped up in the pocket, he had all day too. But
must be nice.
Yeah,
must be nice.
Oh, it must be. Yeah, my quarterback got pile drived into the ground. The Lions player did not give a fuck about the fine. He said,
"What fine? What fine?"
Dan Campbell was fired up over it. Everyone was. Did you hear the boos when Derek Carr came out?
No.
Oh, Josh. Oh. It was deafening boos.
Oh, that sucks. At
least people aren't booing Sam Howell. They know it's not his fault, you know?
That's fair. Oh, man. I don't even know where to go. I get emotional. I feel sad for I've always loved Derek Carr, and I always was a champion for Derek Carr, especially because his height, man, before he broke that ankle, his height was MVP. Like Derek Carr was in that MVP conversation if you think all the way back pre-ankle snapping and he's looking at his foot like it's broke.
Yeah.
Like before that, he was very athletic, because he's always been athletic, but he was extremely athletic back then.
Yeah.
And he was so fearless. I feel like after that, man, he was a little gun shy on everything. He was a little afraid to run a whole lot, and he was a little afraid to stand there too.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, But yeah.
That's an accurate representation of a lot of quarterbacks in the league. Isn't it crazy? I don't know if you had this on your list, but I just need your thoughts on a Joe Flacco still slinging the rock in the NFL. Blows my mind. When I heard Joe Flacco was a quarterback of the Browns.
Started quarterback.
I was shocked, Josh. Did you see him?
I saw the end, and I saw that safety.
Yeah,
I saw the sack that got him put on the one, and then I saw the safety, and I was like, well, this is over.
Yep.
Turned it back off.
Before the unfortunate ending, he's still got it, dude.
Still got it?
Oh, my God. I was like, seeing him and the fact that this man was eating Ruffles on his couch a month ago, and now he is a starting quarterback in the league and doing what he does. I'm like, the Saints really just have been just sitting on their hands. The Jets have just been sitting on their hands. It's like the Browns are really the one that calls Joe Flacco and says, come on.
Yeah.
There's a serious average quarterback problem in this league.
Yes.
Where it's like they can't just be average enough to get you in winning positions. It's crazy. But Joe Flacco could do it.
Greatness doesn't leave. Listen, if you were once great, you're probably always great. And you always can have a Vietnam flashback. Robert Saleh, George, he is about to get himself fired. After moving on from former first-round quarterback Zach Wilson to Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle was benched halfway through that game on Sunday, where I think they lost 6-0.
Yes.
For Trevor Siemian. And if Trevor Siemian starts this week 14, that'll be the first time since '89, George, that the Jets have started 4 starting quarterbacks in the same season.
Wow. There was a moment in time where Robert Saleh said, we were looking for a spark, so we had to bench Tim Boyle for what the hell's his name? Trevor Siemian. And he's like, I saw somebody say this is the saddest sentence in the English language, that we needed a spark, so I benched Tim Boyle for Trevor Siemian.
So I went into the rain and tried to strike a match. That's the kind of spark we were looking for, George.
Wow.
A nothing burger with cheese is what that would be.
That is true. They weren't the 6-0 game. That was the unfortunate Chargers-Patriots game.
Okay.
Their score was they lost 13-8. Their defense got a safety early on and then 2 field goals.
I was wondering. I was like, I don't feel like that was a touchdown 2-point conversion for some reason.
Absolutely not.
That's too funny. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, that's – I mean, and the sad part is, for real, if he would have stuck with Zach Wilson the whole way and Zach Wilson looked decent, because he had looked decent. Everyone talks about how bad he's looked, but he looked all right. If he would have just stuck there, I think he would look better.
Agreed.
But now you can't possibly say Zach Wilson isn't better than Tim Boyle, or Tim Boyle would have been playing the whole time. And you can't possibly say that he's not better than Trevor Siemian, or Trevor Siemian should have been playing the whole time. So either way, Robert Saleh, you look bad. Like you don't look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I would have rather you guys went on your sword and said, hey, this was the year Zach was supposed to sit, but he got another year. Now we know he can't be the guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's just
my
my feeling on it.
No, I mean, is the New York media that bad? Because
Yes.
I feel you only do that when it's like you know what the media is going to say about you. How many more weeks are we also going to get Aaron Rodgers saying, as long as we're still in playoff contention, I think I can make it back for the playoffs? Like, shut the fuck up. Okay? Like, why doesn't the New York media attack this man for the lies? That is a bigger lie. That's the biggest lie he's ever told. Aside from him saying he's being vaxxed, and he wasn't, this is the biggest lie. I'll come back in the playoffs if we make it. No, you're not. You'll die. He'll literally die out there. That offensive line is bad. Where's he going to run?
His leg is going to snap on Hut. Hut. And he's going to drop one time, and you're going to be like,
yeah.
Ah!
Dude, call KD, bro.
Oh, my God.
Call KD. The same shit happened. He rushed back, hurt himself. And they were actually in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, remember.
Finals.
Remember, it was, yes, it was the calf strain.
Yeah.
And he rushed back from that calf strain and snap, crackle, and ruptured Achilles.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers doesn't watch the NBA. What am I saying? He doesn't. KD, Aaron Rodgers, is Kevin Durant. He's the equivalent to you in the NBA. Almost great.
Wow.
But Achilles got him.
Wow, that's actually...
as soon as I said it, I was like, I'm spitting this morning.
That's not a bad one. KD has one more title than Aaron Rodgers does, but...
MVP awards?
Well, Aaron has them in MVPs for sure. KD
3.
only has the one MVP.
Really?
Yeah. Just remember, just the one time where he told his mom, "You're the real MVP."
Yeah,
that was the only one. Yeah, that's it. Because after that he went to the Warriors, so then him and Steph were splitting votes.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But no, that's actually a pretty good analogy. Not necessarily well loved.
Nope. What else?
Didn't do a whole lot, without perfection around them.
They troll the media a lot.
Yes.
KD more so than Aaron Rodgers, but
very sensitive.
Yep.
Hypersensitive. Like brittle spirit sensitive.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
And left the team to ring chase. Done.
It's not bad. Not bad. Don't look now, George, but the Texans are now 7-5 in the middle of a playoff push after beating the Broncos yesterday in Houston. C.J. Stroud went 16 for 27, 274 yards, 1 touchdown. Russell Wilson, 15 of 26, 186, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, with 1 pick being backbreaking in go-ahead win fashion last possession.
That sucked. That sucked. I really liked the Broncos. Like, I liked them as far as, like, I would want to see this team compete in the playoffs as opposed to the Texans. I know it sounds wild, but I just think the Texans are more prone to, we make it there and then we get our fucking asses kicked. I think the Broncos, they made it competitive aside from Russell Wilson's just absolute bad quarterback play, they move the ball now. Like, I'm not necessarily
the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos move the ball. I feel like when I've watched them the past 2 seasons, they've struggled to get first downs. They're always punting or they're always on defense. Now, majority of the time when I turn them on, I'm like, oh, they're driving. They're in positions to score. You got to win those though. Like, this was a game that now that they've dropped it, that wild card spot is even harder to attain.
Yes,
the Colts are winning, so it's almost like a loser leaves town game, and the Broncos, they got to leave.
Yeah, no, it definitely was an elimination type game because they are both. You know, the Jags are above the Texans. Mm-hmm. They're trying to chase them down, but they are above them. And then as far as the Broncos, they're not catching the Chiefs, so they're both in that playoff push for a wild card spot. And you lose this game, it's a very dangerous game to lose.
Yeah, and this is a game where it's definitely like if it's played in Denver, you know what I mean? It's definitely a different outcome. But you gotta deal with the elements. You gotta make the rookie make mistakes, but he doesn't. C.J. Stroud is so good. Nico Collins, 190 receiving yards. That dude,
wow.
When I picked him up in fantasy, little did I know, I traded him for Justin Fields. It's like I got Nico Collins. I got rid of Justin Fields. Best trade ever.
Where was that? That was in your gridiron one?
Yeah.
I was about to say neither of those are players in ours. Oh.
Yeah, no.
Oh, my goodness. This week in fantasy, DK Metcalf.
Oh, wow.
50-plus points on a Thursday night. I was like, if I lose this week, I'm shutting down the whole league. You guys are going to go in your sleeper account and be like, what team? There is no more team.
League discontinued.
Josh was heated. But, yeah, so shout out to DK Metcalf. Even though you guys couldn't pull it out versus the Cowboys, big fantasy win for me. I think I won in both.
Nice.
I know I won in this one. No, I think tonight Monday Night Football decides my other fantasy league. But DeMeco Ryans has really gotten these guys playing well, man. The rookie, Will Anderson, George, had 2 sacks.
Yeah, I was just about to mention
2 sacks.
People went off.
Second-year cornerback, Derek Stingley Jr. had 2 interceptions. So the defense is really starting to play well, too. They're playing good complementary football.
Yeah.
They just are.
And when DeMeco Ryans is excited on the sidelines, there's not a better-looking coach to get his guys fired up. Because he looks like he can suit up today.
Like, put me in myself.
Yeah. No, like, I put him in the same category as Dan Campbell. Like, when Dan Campbell gets fired up on the sidelines where I can feel it through the TV, DeMeco's the same way. What a great leader of men. He's done it everywhere he's been, and if I can take the Texans to win the Super Bowl next year, I would. I'm not confident in next year. I don't think it's this year. Next year, though, give him.
Next year might be a little bit more up for discussion.
Yeah.
Well, George, Sam Laporta is open again. Rookie tight end Sam Laporta got loose versus Georgia's Saints for 9 catches, 140 yards, 1 touchdown in the Lions' tight victory over the Saints, 33-28. Derek Carr, as we mentioned, went out with a shoulder and neck injury in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
You guys were in the game, George, but this is your minute to talk about your team. Go for it.
Were we really ever in the game? No, we weren't, Josh. Thanks, though, for saying that. The Lions were up 21-0 before I could even turn my TV on. That was disappointing because I wanted to see them at least score touchdowns on my team. I literally got home and I was like, wow, this is over. Derek Carr gets booed as soon as he comes in. The Saints coaching staff needs to read the room and just keep him on the sideline. Because, hey, listen, the people of New Orleans, they love you, but like you kind of similar to New York media, except like not high profile, more like dirty bayou, like I'll fucking kill your family type of energy that the Saints fans give off. You gotta play Jameis Winston. And Taysom Hill did everything. I've been saying this for weeks on end now. At the beginning of the year, when I thought it was Derek Carr, I said we got to not use Taysom Hill. Now that it's just Taysom Hill that can score us touchdowns, we need to use him 90% of the time. And I have him as my tight end in fantasy. What a conundrum.
I have him as my tight end in our league.
It's amazing. Yeah, I love seeing my tight end at quarterback 70% of the time. Let's keep that up. But there is going to be a firing of some sorts, I would imagine, coming up here soon with Pete Carmichael. We can't continuously get over 400 yards and lose games and not score in the red zone, and we do that way too often. And the Saints are – we can't even bracket bust people this year. We could still make the playoffs. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah,
how bad is the NFC South?
Yeah, especially in your division. Your division is
we can outright win our division and make the playoffs.
Who is the Hollywood?
Hollywood has
come to town.
What's up?
But yeah, I mean, listen, it's one of those things. But not to be outdone, my Commanders. At least your team scored, George. My team got baked and burnt. We lost 45-15, which probably was the final nail in the coffin of Mr. Ron Rivera. So for that, I'm perfectly fine. I knew that this game was going to be trash, so I literally didn't even. I turned it on for one possession, and it was the Sam Howell pick six.
Oh, damn.
I turned it on right before I walked into church, and I was like, I'm going to just go pray for this. Like, there's nothing else. It was 17-0. I was like, there's nothing else for me to watch here.
Sam Howell pick sixes have
3 straight games.
Lost me money back-to-back weeks. I didn't do it this week, or else he would have done the same thing. If I can bet, was it to end the game too, Josh?
This man's been drinking the props. I was wondering how I was down to
What's up, man?
Good. Shout out! No, you need to go ahead. Give him an ISO cam. Give me a shout out. Give me a shout out. Shout out on Coco Love.
I need that Coco Love, man. I need a couple cases. This is good work right here.
Coco Love. Coco Love. Marcus has been drinking our props. I came in today and I'm like, man, why am I down to 3 prop cans? Like 2 prop cans.
Okay, so let me tell you guys something. So he want me to come in, right? Like dry throated. You understand? Pause. Just one time. Pause one time, right? He want me to be in Las Vegas desert. You know what I mean?
In need of a lozenge.
He didn't pop the fresh can. He got 2. He got 1 prop, and then he got 1 to drink off of, and then he gonna have me come in here and just want me to show. The advertisement is what's some. You know what? Say no more.
See, and I drank yours because.
See, that's selfish.
Because once it got past 30. I was trying to ration.
Listen,
it got past 30, and we had to do what we had to do. But yeah, man, we got to talk to you too.
Kept the shades on, man. You see that? I ain't never seen the shade. Look, you know what I mean, don't bother me. It's early. Don't bother me. But go ahead.
You got your expressionless shades on too.
Excuse me. You can't even see nothing. Excuse. What did he just say?
I hate you so much. Oh my God. But we gotta get your thoughts on the play-in tournament. So I picked the Bucks to win. George actually picked the Lakers to win on some NBA shenanigans. I said Steve Javy 3 straight times in Laker games. What'd you tell me? It was gonna be Steve Javy, not Steve Javy. Scott Foster.
Wow.
Scott Foster. We're gonna have a Scott Foster in all 3 of LeBron's matchups.
I don't know, man. This playing thing is the first time. You really don't know what to expect, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got the Lakers playing out of their minds because I know LeBron's mentality. It's the first time for something. You understand? Mm-hmm. So those guys line up completely different. You know what I mean? Like, he's cool with, let me get the first one, and then the rest of them, you know what? It is what it is. I like Milwaukee. They solid. They stay together. I'm rocking with you on that, but it's the way this year going, man. It's so different. Like, anybody can come out, with it, especially right now with, a lot of the players being, healthy and being able to play right now. Like, I think it's a toss up.
Yeah. Look, it's one game. You only got to win one at a time.
Yep.
You don't got to win two.
See?
You just got to win today. You
Yep.
win today, it's yours. So I was saying I felt like Dame was going to go into playoff Dame mode and give me a 55-point game.
Man, Dame need to do something.
Yeah.
He needs to go in there and
reassure
them people like, look, this is why you guys got me.
This is why I'm here.
Right. I've never been to a situation of being in a championship game or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like this is brand new for them. So like I think that he's gonna come out and play well. Also I think Boston is gonna be fine. You right? Because you gotta think they got Drew, they got, you know what I mean? Like Jason and Brown, like they play solid too as well. So it's gonna take, I don't know, man, it's just gonna take who's gonna get hot at the right time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and who really, really wants it. I think that those guys can come away with it. Whoever really, really want it.
Yep. Man, well, what I also, since we started talking about refs, give me some referee stories, because
I don't have none.
You got to have some.
Nothing. I've never ever been.
Did you ever get a tech?
No, I probably have two in my life.
In your life?
Wow. I never ever. First of all, I wasn't like a guy that would dunk the ball and then have celebrations. So if you don't do that, that completely takes out half of the text, right? Because these guys be hanging on the rim and celebrating and things like that.
Dudes get mad, say something.
I'm a little different when it comes to the yap.
Yeah, because you slick with it. That's why I'm like, you ain't got done?
No, but I grew up with Floyd. Yeah. So we get down first. Okay? I don't want to talk. In the game, the NBA, nobody's going to fight. They might let you get wrestled up and you might, whatever, but it's not really get down.
Yeah.
I really want to get down. Right? So if it ain't really that, like I'm out of the way. Like I don't bother. Like I have nothing to say. Look, the ref called, make the call. I have to stand with it. I've never known any referee to make a call and, it just don't fall on the ref. It doesn't matter. They're always going to be right. You're always going to be wrong. So what is the point? I always felt to go back and forth with a ref. So he called a foul, and remember, I was a defensive monster.
So it wasn't in your best interest to really. Yeah,
no, I left him alone. I usually asked him. I usually asked him like, "Yo,
what did you see?
What can I do?" Like, I'll go to him before the game. Like, I've never had a bad relationship with a ref. I think the person who I was weirded out by, right? And it's not weirded out, but it's just when she first got in, it was Violet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? No one really rocked with Violet because at the end of the day, it was like she was the first woman.
Yeah.
And the game is at a different speed. The different physicality and stuff like that. So you want to know, like, wait.
You're not in your spot.
Yeah, you're not. This is a man's game.
You're not in your spot.
So at first, right? And, this is my fault. Like, I really didn't respect, what she was bringing to the table.
Yeah.
So we really bumped heads a lot, right? And, I get two quick ones. And I wouldn't even be, like, really touching a person, or the player or whatnot. And, I was just like, man, you know what? It's starting to affect, my time on the floor. I got to get through these first 10 minutes because it sits me down.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Even though I wasn't going to play the full entire game, those two fouls, no matter what, is still, strategic because you got to be able to come in the second half and do exactly the same thing. So for me, man, I stayed literally out the way. I didn't go back and forth like, why you call that call? That's a bad call. Like, I look at these guys now, every time down, they're falling out.
Yeah.
Every time down, they holding their head. Oh, my God, I can't believe this.
Everything can't be a foul.
Everything can't. And this is the thing. So I grew up playing at the park where there is no fouls.
That's right.
So I never, ever went into a game expecting anything. Everything for me was you got to go get it if you want it, right? And I never left things to chance. So, I mean, like, I don't know. With the referees, I stayed out of their way. And let them do their job. It's already harder, it's really difficult to be a referee or umpire or anything like that because you're never going to make anybody happy.
Yeah. I'll say you've definitely never seen me coach because I was the type dude where I'll sit down on the court.
What? Well, listen.
I would get like literally, bro. Like I used to have the parents dying so laugh because they never knew what I was gonna do. Because like my whole thing is this: like I don't need like one end of the court were playing in the 80s and the other end of the court were playing in today's game.
Separated.
And like it's like, yo, my child's whole jawbone just got removed on this side, but down here, like, you know what I mean, they can push, bump, check my people.
Okay, but this is the thing. This is what we control as coaches, right? Cool. They only can call a foul on one person. Well, if we all flying around, we all moving this hard, they got to choose one, right? And we're going to be in here together, like, and you just you work with that intensity, and just leave it out there.
Yeah.
And you leave it at that. Stop worrying about the rest. If you give the same energy, it's just like Pat Beverly. Don't you guys know Patrick Beverly should foul out every single game? Now watch this. Do we? No, right? Because you know why? They already expect everything that he's going to do, all his antics, all his pushing and pulling. Well, you know, those are fouls too. Well, why do they let it go? Because guess what? He came in with that mentality.
He's going to do it.
He's been doing it regardless. Like, look, are we going to let this guy stop the game and affect the game, or are we going to, you know, learn how to play through it? All the players learn how to play through it. They understand that's how Patrick Beverly plays. And now that it is what it is, you know, and different guys have their different niches. And, you know, like I said, you just got to find it.
Yeah.
Lead them refs alone, man.
I as a coach, I know you have some of these kids too. The kids that I would get so frustrated with were the ones that I would always tell them, like, look, you're checking in with 4 fouls.
You don't want them to put
so it's like, listen, you need to know yourself and know that, hey, I'm going to pick up at least 3.
Wow.
So you can't gift 2 or you're not going to make it this whole game. Like, it's not possible, because the way you play, you're going to get fouls. You foul at the speed of light. So you can't get that, like, oh, I missed the layup and now I'm going to just push on you and pick that dumb foul up 92 feet away. Like, bro, like, we don't need that.
Those are the fouls that you don't need as a coach, right? But I'll take the fouls if a guy's literally 2 steps above the three-point line and he's trying to keep the offensive guy in front of him, right? And you're a little physical with a bump.
Yeah.
But, you know, I teach my kids when we play defense, we play with the hands behind your back.
Yeah.
You understand? No matter what, cut off with your chest. You know, get your body in front of the player, and, you know, we just go from there. And you play the wider and longer you play, it's like an illusion. So you know how a lot of guys play with their hands down, right? Well, if you play with your hands down, how small are you?
Yeah, you're the size of your body.
You're the size of your body. But if you extend your hands, you know, you make a offensive guy feel that he has to go around you.
And
right?
they do.
And they do. Now, but if you work harder to slide those feet left to right 2 or 3 steps, right, do you know how much ground you can cover?
I'm everywhere.
There you go. So that's what makes you a great defender, if you can guard more than 1 or 2 dribbles.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
What you got any basketball news you want to talk about today? What else on your mind? I'm at the end of the show. I guess did you see any of the did you see the Chiefs Sunday Night Football versus the Packers?
I clipped it.
Yeah,
I clipped it. I mean, like, you know, I wait a little bit.
Bad loss. It's a bad loss.
I mean, but they're mortal though. I mean, it happens. You guys got to think these guys are all professionals. Every single night they're coming with it, and you know it's going to be nights where Patty's not on.
Yeah. Right.
It's going to be nights where a receiver or something is, you know, having a bad night. His routes are a little short. He's a little slow off the line and things like that. So, but that's what fans don't understand. These guys are human too.
Yes.
Right? And you got to think, maybe you ain't want to get out the bed that day. You see what I'm saying? Maybe people have family issues and things like that. So
anything.
It happens. That's why, you know, it's like a game of luck. Everything is luck now.
Yeah.
So.
Jordan Love said that he had that game circled on his calendar, so he was looking forward to that one.
And they came out and bombed it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Patrick Mahomes, you know what I mean, like, he's not getting up for a Sunday Night Football in Week 13 versus the Packers.
In Green Bay. It was
cold
as shit, too.
Yeah, it ain't that deep.
Yeah. You know what?
I know he's used to the cold, but I mean, still, that's bad.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
That's the different down there in Green Bay. That's
a different level of cold.
That's where the cold need a cold jacket. The cold need a jacket on.
No, for real. But yeah, so it's exciting. I think, you know, look, we're rounding the end of the season here. I guess we can go through some NFL picks if you like before we get out of here. Let me pull up tonight's game. We can talk about tonight's game as well. As soon as
Hey, really quick. Hey, did you see Josh Giddey's new reports, though?
No.
He was actually 19 at the time that all this was happening. And she was at the club already.
But this is the thing, guys. We definitely need to chop it up and give a little energy on that because, let me tell you, how we're in the era, right? Remember, in the 90s, we was in the era of the girls getting the fake IDs, right? That was the 90s. These women now are entirely, right, super crafty now. They look it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm talking, they look it. So it's very difficult. And if you see them in the club, you would expect
They're of age.
everyone in there to be of age, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not giving them a pass because you know how old she is. Come on now. And
Yes,
when you were,
you
and
should.
when you and just think about it. When you were 18, 19 or 17 or 8, like you wanted an older woman, right?
Yeah.
Like I would want to date an older. So I just don't understand, like, you know, like I don't understand
Even
these
riding the
guys to
line.
even like want something, you know what I mean, like that. So I don't know. I mean, I stay out of the way of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's because it's sticky on both sides. It's your word against mine. And guess what? When the woman word ain't never took control over the situation.
Seriously.
Even if the man didn't do anything, he still have to fight that situation.
He's still
He
wrong.
still have to talk about it. Like, do you know how embarrassing it is for his family? Even if he was underage, if he was 18, just for it to come out now and be like, you know what? You know, you were talking to a underage, you know, girl, blah, 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 blah. Well, like, you know how his family ought to feel right now? Like, do you know how it is when he come in for Christmas dinner? Like, you're all over the TV for statutory.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is, bro.
That's what it is.
Let's put that out there.
That's
And it's
crazy.
like, then you turn around and you be like, bro, but you worth a couple peanuts and you mean to tell me you can choose what you want. I know it's 20, 28, 29, 30, 40, 50-year-old women that take that opportunity to get it in. So it's like, what is it that you were really looking for? Was it a relationship with the little girl or was it you know what I mean? It was just some, you know, box. Like if that was the case, then, I mean, it just ain't worth it. You understand?
It's not worth it.
It's just not even, I don't know, it's not worth it.
Man.
Yeah, no, bro. Come on.
How tough that is?
Go understand what your money could buy you, sir.
What? Man, right, and that's
Well, my thing is just don't fumble.
Diddy
it.
just paid $100 million. I mean,
Don't fumble the bag.
Nah, he didn't fumble. He kicked the bag down the street because no matter what, he got to hire lawyers. He got to hire.
Yeah.
He got to go and stand in front of someone. But guess what? That is money. That's hard-earned money that he got to spit out. Even these allegations, trying to get through these allegations, he's going to spend a couple hundred.
Yeah, and I mean, but the simple fact that you, like you said, I still got to go perform. I still got to go play.
Bro, you got to
You
think. First of
understand?
all, your teammates coming. What do you think they think?
Yeah.
Like, do you understand? Like,
Has a lot. It's
it's
got a lot of layers.
It's more than just
A lot of layers.
Yeah, it's way more than just you know, the allegations.
Yeah.
Like, man, this man got to live that until it's dead, and then even still, if he was to get by it, everybody's still gonna be like, man, you was messing with that young girl. That's the thing. If it walk like a duck, it talk like a duck. It's not a pigeon.
People still calling Kobe a rapist 20 years later.
And guess what?
After being acquitted.
There you go. And you know what? There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do besides stay your ass out the way. Period. Yeah. Like, I mean, and that's the crazy thing. And even KB's situation, I mean, you know why you coming up here. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
Right? You know why you here. Don't come up here if you don't want no smoke. Because it ain't nothing. The whole room is smoking.
I hate you so much.
Man,
Yeah,
listen.
yeah, get you off.
Y'all know what time. I'm glad, you know what I mean. I popped up at the tail end and came out and hang out with y'all, man.
You keep the glasses on. You're a dangerous man. Well, look,
Yeah.
so let's go. Let's just go over the Monday Night Football game.
Okay.
We got the Bengals 5-6. No Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Jags are -10 favorites. I don't think that they're going to cover that, but I do
10 is
think
tough.
Jacksonville is going to win.
I think Jack's gonna win too. But without Burrow, I mean that's like what the head of the snake.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. If you can't see, you can't move.
Can't do anything.
Yeah.
George, what do you have?
Travis Etienne to score 3 touchdowns tonight.
Dang.
He's one of the best running backs in the league. Christian McCaffrey maybe one. Travis Etienne, right there, dude. He's right there. Big night tonight for him. They're going to cover.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the American Fan 365. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It really does help. And, listen, Marcus came through, gave us his visions. And, we'll be back. We'll be back next week for some more.
Yes, we will.
And next week, we might have a special interview. So make sure you stay tuned.
Who we got, Josh? Who we got?
I said special, man. I ain't saying
All right.
else.
I'm closing.